Okay, here we are at the airport, getting ready to go. Well, we made it from Pensacola to Atlanta, and we had lots of problems and mix-ups, and I'll tell you more about that soon. There's Cherry-Ann getting some money in the Atlanta airport. Trying to figure out how to work the machine. So they had her ticket for the Atlanta to Tokyo flight all messed up, and we stood at the counter for probably an hour for them to delete and recreate our tickets and all that. And by the time they got it all sorted out, the flight is full, and they separated our seats. So at this point, we've been from Pensacola to Atlanta, and now when we go to Atlanta to Tokyo, our seats are separate, and we're worried about having our seats together.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Making all the money. Where you been? What?
I know you're in heaven.
You recording her?
Yeah. That? It's kind of like orange, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Somewhat.
These look like Lauren has.
Similar, not the same. Okay, we are about to get on our flight from Atlanta to Tokyo, and here's Cherry-Ann, and we got 2 neck pillows for this. Good? Okay, we are boarded the flight from Atlanta to Tokyo, and it's going to be, they made it 45 minutes longer than it was supposed to be. It was 13 hours flight, now it's a 13 hour and 45 minute flight. So we will see you soon. What's Docomo? Honey, tell me where we are.
We're in the airport.
Where?
We're in Japan.
We're in Japan?
Yeah, in
Which airport?
What airport? Haneda.
We're in Haneda?
Haneda.
Wow, look, Haneda. Look at this.
It's confusing, but it's fun.
Yeah, it is. You want to just look at their stuff? I should have thought of that. This is Mall of Asia. El Polo Loco. That's Breaking Bad. Okay. Mall of Asia. Now we want to go up to that second floor where he said, you remember where that was? Alright, we're in Mall of Asia. That's what it looks like. Krispy Kreme donut.
Let's go that later. Watermelon over there.
Really?
And if you put watermelon.
Sure. Watermelon.
Yeah. Ate Ashley, mawas na. Sige na, Ashley. Mama. Mawas na, Ashley. That's Dane's house and Robbie's house.
Really? Cool.
We're going to stay there tonight.
All right.
No. You're going to be like me. Hot.
Also in house. It's very hot. We don't have electric fan.
Wala sa phone, electric phone dito na ako. Bakit naman sa musi? Oh, 85. Buti nga 85.
Kudo ako tumtingin ka.
Kaya ko mga bali lang.
Ang sarap dahil. Dito ba na
Here we are, babe, right? Here we are.
This is how.
Wow. That's so cool.
This is 8 months.
Man, you guys are really working on this.
Please, uncle.
Okay, go left. Perfect.
My wife now going to Vietnam.
Oh, is she?
Yes. And then after Vietnam, they will go to Cambodia.
Cambodia.
Yes.
Wow. That's for teaching, right?
Yes, after just on the summer tour.
Summer tour.
Yes.
Well, that's excellent. That's great.
They have to perform the the dance, the cultural dance.
Yeah.
Yes, and then
It's like required.
yes, and then
Required training.
so they perform is singing, group singing.
Oh, that's neat.
Then
That's cool.
also dancing, cultural
Dancing?
dance. Yes.
Wow.
At the same time they're dancing. At the same time they're singing.
Singing and dancing.
Yeah.
That's right. Great.
For 1 month practicing.
Wow. Okay, yeah, good.
No, in every Saturday.
What's that?
Saturday and Sunday. Market?
This one, yes.
That's cool.
It's from rural, people from rural areas.
Yeah.
They come here to sell their goods. Hey, no, sorry. Different house. You have to go there. Hey, sir. You have to go there.
Okay. That's fine.
This one selling for a very low price.
Yeah, eggplant.
Only
Good price.
hey, ano lang? Sige, kung interview ko.
Okay. Let's get, let's
Coca-Cola?
3 Sprite,
3 Sprite, 1.5. This one.
Small one.
yeah, 3 of those, 3 waters, 3 waters,
And they have one also. This is 15 pesos each.
okay,
And then this one's also 15.
okay, and, what else can we get that we would like?
90.
Okay, let's see, yeah, let's just get some that the kids will eat this, right?
Yes.
Let's get, tell them we want 6 bags of that, get 6 bags. 6, yeah, any of them.
Ano madit? And then, pwede lang assorted lang. Assorted. Gatos, pearls.
And then,
Very unong lang ang focus na tanan.
Unom lang.
Assorted lang.
Sorted lang. Okay.
okay, and then,
Assorted lang unom.
can we,
Hindi mo kaya lang 7. 99, that's 264.
okay, let me get,
Wait, akala ko siya lahat.
yeah, let's get 6.
For a while.
Ato nga, one specific. Maunong.
Sige, wait lang. Yan nila na.
Dili tayo na.
Imod ka?
6 of those,
Ano yung gas na?
I'm gonna drink one of these right now. You take whatever you want.
No problem.
What do you want?
Finish eating.
Okay.
You're done bread.
You know what? Let's get,
You know, before this is this guy.
yeah, those, and then, let's get 3 more waters.
3 more waters, please.
Because I'm going to just put a couple of these in my bag and I'll drink them later. I'm trying to look at like,
Butilya.
what else is good? Like food that you can eat. Let's see. How about these chocolate sky flakes?
You have to try this.
Have you had them? Are they good?
Yes, yes.
They're good? Okay. Hey, when they're ready.
Ma'am, yung pa ko naman chocolate nga ko.
6 of those.
And biscuits sa
Ade, chocolate din, ano man.
Sige, wait lang. Ay, dito.
Wait lang.
We want 6 of those and 6 of those Skyflakes chocolate.
Magulit yung diri na lang.
Okay.
And, huh? Okay, that's good. We'll take those. And then, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Wait lang ha, kuya. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Let's see if there's anything else we need. I think we're pretty good. What is that, C500 in the top?
This one,
Is it beer or something? I don't want
no,
beer.
not dirt. This one is tea.
A tea?
Yeah, tea.
Yeah, let me get one of those.
Sa daw ko na nga. Regal tea.
Yeah. I'll take that. I'll take that right now. Yeah, thank you.
How much?
They're adding it up.
They're coming.
Yeah.
No problem. This one, before this is a boutique before.
Really?
405.
405.
They're selling clothes like that before Yolanda. After Yolanda, big problem.
Really? Something different.
Shooting, I received 500.
Okay. Thank you for doing this. I might need, over the next days, I might need to do this again and again, you know, depending on what we're doing.
You know this one?
Jan,
All the big body bag.
Oh, really?
You know, Korean,
Thank you.
they're not using hand gloves.
Thank you. They're not using hand gloves?
Yes, they just only carry the body and then put in the hand glove.
Let me put this in my wallet.
But they have you know, the spray, I don't know what kind of spray is that.
Like antiseptic
Maybe. Disinfectant like that.
Yeah, disinfectant is what Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Even very hot here after the
Take this and try. What's, I don't want like all the kids to go crazy. We'll give them
no
some.
problem, I will handle this one.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Hey, ano yun? Islam, saan na mo kuno?
Ano, may Baby, adin sok, baby.
There's water in here too. Tea.
Waray magkukuha na.
There's water. Some Sprite.
Ako na.
Ayaw pa pa. Ay, hindi na ko sa. Share.
Kuya, ayan mo ba?
Sharing.
Ay, pwede makita naman to.
Give me half the food. Guys,
Would you like the chocolate one or the...
I'm gonna take one of each.
Ano yan? Sweet yun ba? Baka nga nakukuha ko na. Yaw nga, sweet ko.
Honey, this is just to get by on, you know. I want one regular. Give me one regular and one chocolate.
You have to keep this one. You have to keep this one.
Oh, yes.
Yes. How much? How many?
Two. That's good.
Waray ka lang yung choco ito, wara.
Sorry.
Uy, tubig, ay hindi maging na tubig ha. Ano tubig?
Kaya ako uminom tubig. Hindi ko na uminom ba? Nilalutan ako.
Big mess, huh? Already.
Yeah. What is that?
You want one?
Hindi maging na
Here.
tubig ha.
There's water there.
I was gonna save these
Oh yeah,
for me, because I can't drink your water. I have to have bottled water. But you can have one, I'll go get more. There's Sprite and other, you want, honey, give Mama G a water.
may narinig spray.
Okay, nainom yan, nainom. Vin, sabi na pwede mo nga.
Sabi daw, Vic.
Give me, here.
Sorry, the look.
Take that one.
No, I want Sprite.
Oh, she wants
Vin,
Sprite.
yan tayo naman Sprite. Hindi na dito man.
Hindi ba siya?
Ako na ito dito sa kanila. Tayo na
You want water?
Yeah,
You're good, okay.
mineral.
Atin ko yung tulay. Kaya naman, ang tulo. Naborito na.
Bagyo,
Papatay ka, mapapatay ka. Papatay.
Bye.
Hoy, mga din!
Alilando.
Ano, ano yung lando? An?
Ate mo! Nagpapawi ka man!
Who's that?
Ada mga lando!
Who's the construction?
Ang naging ganyan, ilugin niya na.
Yan na naman lando!
Bill.
Nagano ka?
Nagano naman ako.
Chat ko yan, baby. Hoy, alin, pangaba! Gari!
Balong, she said, babe.
Yeah, balang.
Ali na yung iba.
Sige, hindi na. Bakit na nanay, Gis? Kasi nanay iba.
Ano naman talaga? Mag-skiyan sa mga sa mga. Pero dahil ito ito. Wala maglalabot. Pero bayad pa sa'yo.
Adi makampi.
Awaro ka lang dito yung mga.
Mga gusto may just yan.
Eh, wala may jack na iba. Ay, no, paim na.
Kikini ni mama. Ako na ito na naitingin gawin ko.
Inawag ni sa sada mo. Babayi nga siya. Binaro na yun.
May daga na nawawala. Ay, daw nagto.
Hindi siya ko. Actually,
Mabuting kamay na yun.
Ganito. Puro ni Kin cellphone. Kin cellphone daw.
Ako nene.
Buti ko lang ang papel na rin. Nagbulti ni Kagay.
Water naman daw. Sabi ka, yeah.
Bulti may flower base.
Ito na ito, ha?
Meg! Oh, what are you back? We have a juice here. We make this.
We got powder tang. Tang is good.
Papel, ma.
Wala di.
Yaren. Ay, na itong asukar.
Ada ni equal.
You're right.
Yeah, I just got to where we've been flying for 3 days.
Papalit. Yayo, papatanin ay.
Ya, ganda ka na.
What are you asking her, honey?
Ikatulog sa asukar.
Honey, what are you
I'm
asking?
talking about,
Ya, ito din sa ko.
What?
we have a cold water.
What we should do for the whole time we're here is maintain a big gigantic cooler of ice and water and drinks
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
and I'll do it if someone will just take me to get it and get the cooler and everything.
You want to go to the ice plant?
Not right this minute, but I want to do it the whole time we're here. Let's keep it going.
Mag-order na kung tubig dito.
Kaya mapila ka pa rin. Kaya dami na pumarali.
Upat ka rin, kita kin-order.
Greg, I think you're going to fall in line because there's a lot of people going to get some ice.
So we need to do it quickly.
It's up to you if you're ready.
If someone will take me to do it, I'm ready right now.
Ano pag...
Tanpa lang ito.
She told me to put that. That's what I do.
Ini? Oo. Ako na rin masulo.
Ay, yung labad. Magagamang sa nagtanong ka na.
Ang marakso ka to ka ng lalaki.
Ito, ano ka na lalaki?
Ako ang wala mo ng usay.
Ano ka na pa eh?
Honey, if someone will take me to do it, I'll do it whenever.
Atin po.
If someone will take me to do it, I'll do it whenever.
Ma, ay manulag to. Matindi ka. Adiyo.
Ay, ito ano ko na lang. Isa akin na aeroplano. My wife.
Hello.
Oh.
Ha? Ay, naman ka mo.
Airport.
Wala nga airport.
So, Agnes, can you put these with my black bag? It's in that room.
Okay.
Just put it with it. You don't have to put it in it. Just
Yeah,
put it
yeah.
down. And I'm gonna
Okay, okay.
expect to drink those later.
Do not get that. Do not get that one, huh?
Tato nga mabali yung kursiya yung butang mo ng braso. Hi, man. Sige, ibigay na. Kau man niyo.
Ay, pabutang ako kay kakastoryon ko. Ay, butang kay kakastoryon ko pa ikaw.
Yan lang. Dili ka siya. Ako na yung ni Ansi. Ano na ito yata, girl? Ano yan? Anong ginatagyan? Ako siya, ano yung malalasiya?
Susugo na naman yung bata.
Ano siya gusto? Sunggo. Kaya ano ba yung kapatuan? Hindi, kagulo pa ito yung sunggo. Ayan ko ano ni. Maganda lang yung suicide. Ano mo mga ating? Hangad!
Alright, what were you saying about the falling in line with the ice?
Okay, the ice. You're gonna, the driver, do you have a feeling you're gonna drive? I don't know who's gonna... Mag-iwas ako po, Krista. Pagpun... Sirapin na rin ulo. Matapagpun... Ay, planta. Isusunod ako, ler. Atong punan. Isusunod ako, ler. Ang sige, tara! Tutulog na, ler. Ay, matito pa, ler. Ya, tara, ya! Babe, for me, I'm not gonna go with them. Just give them money to buy something. And then we can work in there when you get.
Why can't I go with them?
Huh?
Why can't I go
You
with
wanna go with them?
Yeah, I wanna go, and then, but do they have a big cooler?
Yeah, they have 3 cooler there.
Alright.
It's not big. It's just like this big. Where you gonna go? Oh, it's big.
Alright, so,
You're gonna go to the ice plant, and then you're gonna get some just follow.
get the ice and then the drink.
Yeah, and then you're gonna drive the pity car. Yan na daw, natanong sa akin ito na. Magsunggo rin niya, dirigurin niya, puro na lang ira.
Now, if they don't want this, we don't have to do it. I'm just thinking that would be a good.
I think it's good because tomorrow is gonna be busy, and the line is gonna be locked.
Alright, so who is the person who's gonna go with me to do it? Hey! You're welcome. Thank you. I hope you treat that good and learn from it.
Hey, kiss dad, ano yan? Mama, kiss dad. Ayaw na. Teka lang, gusto dito, huwag kami tubig.
Buwak ko nung wala ang buwak.
Dali.
Buwak.
Kuri!
Buwak. Buwak.
Listen, so after we accomplish this cooler and ice task, then we're gonna need to go and get Wi-Fi.
Alright.
Then we're gonna need to go to the hotel.
Hold on, I'm gonna finish this first.
Okay, I'm just telling you what the plan is, and that there is, you know, we gotta have a plan.
Padito. Masukan na. Padito. Layop din ako dila mo. Marami siya.
Mama G, you wanna do your phone now? You wanna give me the...
Later na lang.
Later?
You are busy and I'm busy.
Okay, that's fine.
I have to use my cell phone.
Okay, alright, well, that's fine, I'm just offering.
Wala mo po, hindi na ako mga game mo. Yan mga iyo. Nangangawa pa ka mo. Kain ka doon na dito. Mamo na contest. Hirapi ka na mo. Dito ka lang. Sige lang. Papa mo lang. Ay. Sunod-sunod na niyo.
Anak ko saya.
Ipangaman ka dito. Ano daw yun? Oo, kuha daw ito. Lalay. Ay, doon sino ka ni... Ay, ni... Kuhanin trako. Ano si Maridili? Papangaling na kasi pa. O kaya ni kuhanin ni... Iskan na ito kasi... Ay, sa Iskan. Usakay pa mga manulan doon. Ay, mani... Sige na, kapal nila doon. Kapal mo nito, ay.
Ano mo?
What are you doing?
Gano'n ka kunuday? Baby, you're gonna go with Rafi. And then ride a bike up to the pedicab.
Okay. Whenever he's ready, let me know.
Tuwa na yung mga nando. Kasi yan hindi pangarig mo dahil bawal. Enjoy. Tuwa na ito. Manipigani, lumabog ka. Manipigani, yung mga bawal. Nagawin na ito. Unlock na ito. Unlock ito. Ayan, kaya mangarig ko na kita. Mangarig ko na kita. Lighting. Hindi ka rin. Sinilas na sila. Yan naman. Iwala ka kami. Matawag ka na. Ano sinilas? Halika ba rin? Ang ganda nga ito na naman. Kuhan porno. Araw yung siyabo. Mari na dapat porno. Para doon mo. Popcorn na lang. Marami. Ano naman nagkuha nila yun? Asli tinapan, dalo si maayusok nila.
Wala ba wala nila do?
Tawagan mo ni Mang Nando.
Ada nila pinagkuhan.
Pwede rin mga kwan, kaya kailangan din sila.
Kira gunado nila.
Ano nang chichariya? Ano, luwas ko? Kapilon ka mo. Labo ka nito! Nangangawag ka mo kinariyaw! Labo! Pangurot ka simboy. Asay ka mo. Asay. Nasukot ka pa, dear. Kuhay ko.
Hindi yung buntog dito.
Pakilin. Hindi ka nang makakago. What a nightmare!
It's not a nightmare. It's great fun. But they're all... we couldn't have asked for it to be better. We've been here for an hour and a half and the UMAC truck shows up.
Yeah, I know, right?
We were worried about it not even coming while we were here.
Uy, nagpakatawag ka tulog-tulog.
Ano yung papalitan?
Ay!
Ano nga ay?
Dito ay lang ang dagpungan. Parang butangan. One foot or two. Tapos ang nagkuha an ice cube. May dito ice cube.
Honey, do they think this is a good idea to do this or no?
Yes, very good. Because tomorrow is going to be. Come on, George.
Well, honey, if I'm over here, like we're here for like 12 days, and I'm going to drink like 6 bottles of water a day. Okay, and
We need to go to, we need to
Ano yung
go
napalit pa?
grocery.
and so if we're going to get ice, we can do that. We can go to the grocery and just buy a whole bunch of water.
Try ko ay, gaba hindi rin dumara pa. Unlock na niya. Uy, mabukot kayo pa rin ang cold cut. Joke pa.
Yeah, because- If he doesn't want to do it now, I'm not trying to push anybody.
Let's get it right now because it's
I'm going to get busy.
gonna be busy. Kaya mo yung SIM card na ito was. Micro yung ipa mo.
May turma ito.
Ako lang tayo.
Uy, ay, nay, kaya ba mag-masama na
Waray. Hindi mo pa ako.
Jimloy, ara yun, panipig, Jimloy. Panipig na.
Noy!
Ashley, kanipig. Ashley.
Baby, what is this thing here? Boarding air. Cause health certification verified.
I don't know. Let me see it.
I don't know.
Let's see.
Okay,
Source. Secure booting air. Call it boots. Now, so you've got a different SIM card in here, right?
yeah, I put that from it's still the same. When I put the T-Mobile, it's the same. When I put like...
Okay, well, the only thing boot certification verify would be like a locked phone. Now, if I had my computer here and we had Wi-Fi, I could search this out. Okay.
Bye. But I mean, they did another one.
Tell them to put it back the other way, and then when I'll bring my computer and go online and we'll fix it. We'll try to.
Oh, you know the error.
Did you explain to them that? Well,
Hindi daw rin naman mencionado.
Wala ko may wifi.
Meron akong recharge. Tinagara niya rin po.
where's the Where's the Wi-Fi that they use now, honey?
Huh?
What does the Wi-Fi hardware that they use now look like?
It's just like the one we had, the Verizon. Just look like that.
Well, why wouldn't we just take that one and put a load on it? Or
How is it USB?
oh, we need okay. We need to connect multiple devices.
You need only you can use it with the computer.
One computer.
Yeah.
Okay, so never mind. Never mind.
Search talang.
Yung madala kayo.
Search.
Ayaw pag-abriya, search lang.
So did you explain to them that we're going to look? Okay. This not speaking woy for me is going to be hard.
Yeah. So that you can speak waray.
I need you all this.
Look at my shirt.
I know, it's okay, honey. It doesn't matter.
Ay, pag-abriya!
Pag-ubriha, kaya di error pa. Bayan ito nakasya.
What's it doing?
Search lang.
Bayan din na mauros. Kaya ang tubig.
Pero may pagbayad lagi.
Sabot ka po.
Hindi ko niya hamatay. Hindi rin yung bayad. Ano? Istorya nga, istorya.
Oo, logi. Kaya pag yata sa iya. Hindi kita kasabo.
What are you doing?
Uy, Ken! Ken na!
Ayaw ka na ako.
Subuhan mo na kami tulog ng sapatos. Pakita na ako.
You got these on?
Pwede
You fit there?
Pakita na ba ako?
Oh, pastora.
Umiristik ka?
What are you telling them, honey?
So, about that shoes that he had one shoes that he can use for basketball. That one he can use to go to school.
Bayan na magkakukuha mga kabukon.
Don't worry about it. Just give him the shoes and let him do what he wants.
Use the other one. Okay. And Adidas. Ayaw ito. Bago ito, Ken. Bago niya ito, Louie. Yan, bad trip, Ken. Okay. Papayaw ito ayaw mo, ha? Hindi sa kiyayit na mga bad trip. Oo, ako yung tatatlong ng teko. Ini ko. Ano?
So, dali. Ano na yung mauli?
Okay.
that? Small camera?
Small camera, yeah. Video camera.
This way to go to Robinson.
Okay.
Maigot 1/4. 1/4 media. Sana kapag ako ito. Report. Hindi tao. Ito tulo na kawan daw ay ganito. Ano yan ito gawas. Hindi na nilang yung mamayag pa. Jadi. Sige dito.
Yeah. Crusher.
Ice crusher.
Yeah. We'll walk out. That is a big pain in the ass to do that. Una ni 1/4 lang. Pero yung kabluki. Maigo. Ang paparigi kayo dyan. no, this is nice.
Here in the Philippines only. Made in the Philippines.
Yeah, exactly.
Ay, kok, balik ko na lang. Oo. Mabukat lang. Alam mo. Ay. Ah, hindi gagi. Sinala, kaya luwag dito. Kahit ba?
We are.
Okay. Iwas, di ka maghuhulos ka. Sabay tayo sa What's this? Lagi.
Get out of the way!
Sabi mo, kay pasaway.
So we're gonna go get the Cokes after this, right? He's getting them. Oh, okay, okay, great. There you go.
Sige, diretso lang.
Diretso may ATM ang may.
Yeah, we can go to the hotel and then leave it on.
Oh, your nails. Oh, those look good.
Yes, I think.
They did nice job.
I'm going to ask Mama G my watch that it's still, they can fix it here. Are you filming? Filming to
Go through my wife.
go to pieces.
There? This hat that I'm wearing was a hat that my mom got when she got new tires on her Honda CR-V. They gave her like 6 of them. And then we didn't need them, so we sent them in a Philip buying box to the Philippines. And then my hats are in the suitcase that I couldn't get into. So I just borrowed it from her father. And now I'm wearing my hat that I had 2 years ago. one says, where are you? Just say Earth. We're on Earth.
Kaya ba ka lang kin?
How do you say Earth before I go away? Earth?
Biinig ka pala. Abierto rin. Abreman ko. Abierto. Dito naman. Abierto rin na. Sirado. Di binala mo.
Is this it? We just wait, or what are we doing?
We're gonna wait.
Okay.
Bakit? Sa'yo mo ginagad kami. Kung na rin ah. Eh, pasulot ka. Okay, magkarawod. Ano ako, artista? Okay, dira ako. Kahit binagad niya.
What
Again,
happened?
where we are.
Ken, where are we? Look, we're on Earth? Oh, that's true. We are. We're on Earth. Look at that mountain back there. Right there.
Look at this.
Like if I can have a subway system.
Listen, we're gonna eat because we're hungry.
Okay.
We're gonna put the baggage back in the hotel.
Okay. Well, you know, I have to tell you because you didn't say, oh, we're all going to be eating soon.
Well, we're only following you. If you're hungry, we're gonna go.
Okay. Oh, we're sorry. We caught one.
Yeah, I told her.
Okay.
There's a mouse.
House of fried chicken.
We can find it.
Whatever you want to do. Okay, let's do it. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Kapit again, kapit.
Hold it.
Hulog yung tingin ng tubig. Ha? Hulog yung tingin ng tubig.
You get wire hangers while you were there? All right, honey, way to go. You're at the grocery store.
No, we didn't. We just only grabbed it.
Oh, fun. Where can we get wire hangers?
We'll get it back. So we can bring some hangers to Mama's house. Their police patrol.
Police patrol? gonna buy, you buy it.
It's not gonna be, like 100.
Well, what's that?
Kaya ito?
Girl.
160? Oh! Oh, sala.
Tell her to hand them through to you, and you can put them in.
What?
Hand them through to you, and you can put them
I don't understand.
hand the watermelons through the window to you, and you can put them down there.
Yes.
Hey. Hey. Oh no, we
No.
need a whole one.
May, lagi yan mga size dapat.
Uncut. How late do you think we're going to be there tonight? Huh? You probably want to stay late.
Like 8 or 9.
Probably will. Cute.
Wala ka ba mo?
There's one.
Only one. Only one? Yes.
Really? They get 3.
Baby, it's a lot.
One. I'm gonna have so much footage. I'm just gonna cut little bits out that look good.
Sabi na mo, maduman. Gindalagan na. Sige, kuha na lang tanan. Hindi na napakuhan. Gindalagan ng kwarta.
What are you yelling about?
Then, look. The order that watermelon is the order withdrawn all the way.
What are they doing? Growing the watermelon?
This is watermelon.
Watermelon.
There's the
Well,
watermelon.
this is the watermelon.
There's a ball. Whoa! Ken! Nakaw ka pang balik, Ken! Nakaw ka pang balik. Ay, kabala ni putis ka. Ay, ganito, marautan, tuma. Tumanda ako. Ay, nabat nabirak na bata. Gindala, ma, gindala ka ng utang sa gindala. Puro gindala. Ito lagi na talang kanakan, Kuya Mi. Oh, padali.
What's she doing?
We're waiting the little boy run and go to get a change.
Oh, okay. Now it all makes sense.
I said, come on, let's run. We'll put all that watermelon in the car.
Oh, yeah, we'd steal all the watermelon. He left it
I don't
unattended.
know if I can drive here. It's not make sense to me.
Oh, I know, it's crazy.
Amot nga ni Kuya Mi, kung makadrive at din ni, makapoy man din ni.
America makes sense.
Ha? Waray, kinadat ko, mga driver. Oh, ito dito, Kuya Mi, kay balagbagpon ka nga, may ticket ka dayo. Oh, yung pilit pa mo siya. You don't have change? No change.
How much is it?
Pera na tulo, pera tulo. Pera tulo. Pa. Ay naman pag ginawa ta, kay di pagkatatao. Ikaw ito na kwarta to eh. Pera tulo.
I could have bought some real estate by the time we did this.
For the boys.
Alright. Good job, Mama G.
Thank you.
Good job.
At pagka na nagsisenga uno.
Kiki got a haircut.
Good head.
Yeah, we're home.
Ano ito na ka lang?
We're home.
Ano computer na ito? Kaya naman hira mo. Hira na ito? Ay, hira na ito?
Maganda yung mga din ba lang.
May naman phone chat. Oh, oray pa phone. Hey, bata!
Hey! What's that?
Ang kupiyay na ang
Sunak ko yung anak. Wala ka train mo. Oh, sige yan.
He's been walking the street.
Yes, that's his son.
Really?
This is your son. The youngest.
He's just out walking around?
Yeah.
Remember that building that when they moved when I had my dentist to time to come. Kamu mo ba yung nilaksan? Yun ka na ito. Oh, I don't know. Pagka na ito, Max, nag-ina yun.
Alright, and we made it back to the Guitardo house.
Kada ka na yun?
Yeah.
Maganda ka nito? Ito nasa pinala baby, nag-ina yun.
Now, what do you do with them? You just... Oh! You shit on the dog. What do you do with them? You...
Eat some thing food.
How many is in there? One? Two?
So there's eight. There's eight. Eight.
Eggs. They have eggs. Wow.
Boy and girl. They're married.
They're married? Yeah. Nice. So do you play with them every day? Like once a week or how often? Every 2 days?
Yes.
Every 2 days? Wow. Is it okay if I walk over there and look? Yeah, I'm gonna look. I was trying to remember the kitchen and what it looked like. Now a bedroom.
Bedroom.
Cool.
Uncle Ian.
Yeah, I remember.
Andres.
I remember this.
This the plus TV.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
But
So-
do you want this?
Uh,
I cook it. I cook this.
You caught it? Those
Do
are,
you want? It's nice.
You-
Seafood.
yeah, those are, like, scallops.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's balian.
Balian.
Yeah.
You want this? You want to eat? I keep it.
No, not right now, but maybe. But when did you catch them?
Where? At the sea. In the
Yeah, but when? Like yesterday?
No.
Last week?
No.
Today?
Today.
You caught those today?
Yeah. So my fish.
But you were working today.
No. My brother revived.
Oh, you bought it. So it was caught today and you bought it. I got you. Those are like abalone or no?
No. It's like a scallop.
Yeah, those are real big though.
It's very big.
Look, do you have the meat? Let me see the meat of one of them here.
Already fresh. We have here in chick.
Let's see.
Fighting stock. You want to see fighting duck?
Well, they're not gonna get me. Let's see.
Here.
Oh, those are fighting cockroaches. Cool.
Only 2 weeks.
2 weeks old?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the father, the fighting duck.
Wow. That's amazing.
This is a good
Rooster? Roost?
Yes,
Yeah. Well, is he gonna bite you if you go? He won't bite you.
Yes.
He will? Yeah.
We have plenty of fighting ducks here.
Now what's this?
Tomorrow we have fish that.
They're gonna cook that one for him?
Soon.
For tomorrow, huh?
Yeah.
So this, I want to see the oysters, or the scallops that you had. They're over here, right?
No, scallop here.
Oh, all the meat's gone. Yeah. I'm with you. That's amazing. Those are big.
A plenty of seal, balian.
Yeah,
Look like scallop.
those are nice. Those are big ones.
It's nice. Tomorrow
It's like
we cook
meat, but yeah,
over there and we put butter.
yeah. But
Susog pala ito kita. Susog pala
it's like blackening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh?
I cook. You want
You cook
it?
it?
No?
No. I'm good. But I think it's really cool though that you guys are doing that.
This is your silver.
Oh, that's
I didn't win in the Philippines.
That's great. Well, you guys have really been
high on
carried that chair.
yeah.
That's where it landed.
And do not go down.
It stayed right there,
Stay there.
and you just left it. That's funny. Wow. It's amazing what you guys have been through.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. And this is
Now
Uncle.
as a small now.
There's a generator.
Yes. As you said, we put it there because the rain is.
Did it work good for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you good? Good. We got you guys got that generator, genset.
We pull out.
No. No, but I was saying, Cherry Ann sent the money
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Oh.
And I was,
Well, we continue go
using
every blackout.
you bring it out and
Yeah.
use it. Good. Some of the people at my work donate money to you guys at one
here
time.
in Philippines.
To your family, to the Gatardos.
Yeah.
And then I want to...
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, that's all right. And then I want to film this, and I'll show them at work how you live today and what's happened, and they'll see the results of...
I'm leaving to Manila after the Haiyan.
Right. Everyone did.
Yeah. So, everything go to Manila.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to see that you guys are doing okay. Thank you.
this.
You got a duck. Who put this here?
Me.
Let's put this garbage can out here so we can use it from both sides. This isn't bad, babe.
It's not bad, it's alright.
If you're good, I'm good.
It's only near and got all there.
Yeah, I think it's a good. I had to work hard to accept this, but I think it's good. I was about to say, no, this isn't going to work. You see that space right down there?
Mm-hmm.
We could unpack our suitcases and stack up. You stack up left, I'll stack up right, and we can put most of the stuff we need there. And then not have to open our suitcases all the time. This is actually cozy. I hate that shit. Come on.
First, Aaron, what can we expect from this news conference? I guess
Wow.
It's fortunate that last night was
Judge Cleveland cop verdict.
What do we expect to hear?
Protest arrest after judge acquits. That means they made him go free. They let him go free. So Cleveland is going to go crazy.
Have gone better than expected. Yesterday there was a small protest that carried on in the evening. At least 12 people were arrested, 3 charged with throwing some sort of object at a restaurant. But other than that, it seems to be relatively peaceful. That situation is continuing into this morning.
This is nice, baby, actually.
Cleveland.
You agree?
We're waiting
Yeah.
for this press conference for an
No
update
problem, dear.
from
Table!
Yeah, there's no table. I can't do my computer.
And Aaron, what was different?
Hey, I'm cold.
Alright, let me adjust it. I'll fix it.
Relatively speaking.
I gotta pee. Let me
Who's that
pee.
guy?
I think that we have to remember that this was a case that took place in 2012. Following this incident, the Justice Department launched a 2-year investigation into what happened and come up with a series of recommendations to deal with what they determined as an excessive pattern of force on the part of the Cleveland Police Department. And the community has had time
Did you get all the lotions and stuff you need?
Yeah, it's in there.
and yesterday we saw members of the community coming out on the streets and vocalizing their upset at this court decision. The family, we heard, urging...
Oh, there's a fan. That's great.
And speaking of that, what has the mayor and police chief, other local leaders, what have they said so far to urge the public there to keep the peace, even though a lot of people may be disappointed in this decision that was reached?
Yeah, we heard yesterday from Mayor Frank Jackson saying that this is a defining moment for the city, but again, urging people to come out onto the streets to protest, to remain peaceful, urging calm. And I expect that in this press conference that's about to unfold just here in this auditorium, we'll hear more of the same. Later today, there is a basketball game, a playoff game. We heard from hometown star LeBron James. He also urging peace, also urging calm, saying that sports can heal the city.
And Aaron, just looking at the pictures that we're seeing right now, obviously, you know, there was some pushing and shoving in terms of some of these protests with the police there. I'm just curious what you observed in terms of the tactics they used that sort of kept things from going over the edge. It looks like it was a tense situation, but a lot of restraint was also exercised
down that.
from all appearances.
Yeah, and I think also a factor was the police presence out on the streets in Cleveland. We saw the police out there in large numbers, even in the early hours
no one
of
can
this
see you?
morning. We saw plenty of police patrolling the streets, making sure the situation remained calm.
Where's the,
And I guess
Tattoo.
one thing that should not be
So we're gonna
overlooked is you're seeing other
Tattoo?
pictures of these protests
Wi-Fi.
taking place in Cleveland.
that part?
Oh, tattoo. It's over here. You want me to turn it on?
Peaceful
Now or change first?
their complaints about
Now?
what happened.
Let me
Get out of hand. I mean, that
get that going.
a very reassuring people there.
I've got a lot of charging work to do every night.
That we
Let me see if I can leave this down. Yeah, I can leave this down all the time when I'm here. Then I could just set up. This could stay down all the time.
Wary of what could potentially happen next as the day continues to unfold with the 24 hours following that verdict. But yes, as a police here in Cleveland, a sense of calm,
All right.
a sense of order. on the
Tattoo.
streets.
And I guess walk us through the case.
The tattoo worked very well
for
today.
viewers who haven't
It really did.
on this the holiday weekend, so people are away from their TVs for a bit and not really aware of what was involved in this case. Can you lay that out for our viewers? I suppose we'll hear the police chief and the mayor talk about this again at this news conference that we'll get going here, hopefully within the next couple of minutes. What was involved in this case that really put the city, as you said, on the edge?
So this is crazy. A waiting news conference. Oh yeah, because we're in a different time zone. So they're going to hold a news conference and everybody's going to start rioting. This is awesome. They let the cop be found innocent. This is great.
A car chase that lasted over 20 miles, involving some 6 police cars, culminating in a parking lot of a school. It was over 100 shots were fired, killing Russell and Williams, the officer that was
Okay, baby, it's on.
I'm
gonna have to boot up.
15 rounds from the hood of the car into
What?
the victims, but the judge in this case ultimately, waiting for the press conference to start, they're ultimately deciding that Grillo had a reasonable perception of danger when he did that. He was ultimately found not guilty of voluntary manslaughter as well as felonious assault.
And Aaron, this is not the only case that people in Cleveland are following closely when it comes to allegations of police brutality, police going beyond the lawful exercise of their duties. There's the case of this young boy that really captured the nation's attention. And I suppose, in looking at this case that was just decided in the last couple of days, I suppose people on the streets there who are protesting, they're lumping all of these cases together to say what is wrong with...
Oh, what I need to do is charge these batteries. Bad.
Oh, it looks like the press conference started now.
Press conference.
We'll watch the press conference.
From today. We also want to thank those protesters and demonstrators who were responsible in exercising of their First Amendment rights yesterday evening and night. They served as an example of peaceful demonstration and dialogue that will help us to move forward a positive and substantive reform and forge better relationships between the police division and the community. As I said yesterday, we will and we continue to encourage people protests and demonstrations. However, we will not tolerate activities that cross the line. The majority of the protesters yesterday were peaceful, although aggressive at the end of the day, but still peaceful. In the evening, however, there were some who crossed the line. and as a result, they were arrested, and they crossed the line in some cases by assaulting bystanders, which is outrage. So I'm going to have the chief come up and talk to you about, give you an update as to where we are, where we anticipate going today, and then give you some
Maybe that suitcase looks like it's been through hell, but it's doing its job.
that were made yesterday and why. Chief.
Thanks, Mayor. Good morning. First of all, as the mayor stated, the majority of the protesters and the protest activity yesterday remained peaceful, although sometimes aggressive, but still peaceful and within the bounds that we expect from people here in Cleveland. We made sure that we allow people to express their personal rights, to express their
Are you going to sleep,
their
Ed?
anger and frustration about
Right
the
now?
events that have unfolded here
Okay,
in
go to
the
sleep.
country. And we gave people the space and provided a safe environment for them to do that. Throughout the early part of the day, those activities again remained peaceful. As we began to go towards the early afternoon hours, things got a little more aggressive. Protesters actually blocked one of our major thoroughfares, Route 2. This is a dangerous activity, and we try to discourage it, try to prevent it, because, you know, a highway with cars going 60 miles an hour is a lot different than a public roadway with 25-mile-per-hour speed limit. So at that time, officers moved in and basically gave warnings to those protesters that were blocking Route 2, and they dispersed and got back on the normal roadway. Protesters, after a certain time period on the west side of town, came back downtown and entered Tower City Center, one of our downtown shopping areas. They became disruptive. The officers of the Division of Police, along with security from Tower City, was able to get those individuals out of Tower City, at which time the businesses in Tower City closed for the remainder of the day, just as a precaution. As stated earlier, protests basically remained peaceful until the latter part of the day, when people began to get more aggressive and at times started to cross the line. As I stated yesterday, we would not allow people to commit acts of violence, either against property or persons, in this event. And officers moved in as soon as those things began to happen. On East 4th and Huron Road, one of the protesters actually picked up a sign from one of the restaurants on the sidewalk and threw it at a patron, injuring that patron and hitting him in the head. That protester, officers moved to arrest him. Other protesters interfered with that lawful arrest, and 3 people in total were arrested. The main protester for violent assault, the other protesters for crimes ranging from obstruction of justice to aggravated rioting. The protest continued from that point and moved to an area of East 9th and Euclid, where we had incidents of protesters actually pepper spraying patrons that were seated at restaurants in their patio areas or walking down the street. Officers again moved in and made arrests. Later in the night, we had an incident that happened at East 4th Street in Euclid on the 4th Street Restaurant Row, where protesters again attacked bystanders. At this time, officers moved in, and the order was given to disperse the protest because it was becoming increasingly violent, not so much against officers, but against normal, everyday citizens enjoying downtown. Officers made several arrests at that time, and orders were given for the protesters to disperse. Of course, most of them refused, at which point we made several arrests as the night went on, and we attempted to disperse the protest. This all culminated Later on that evening, had another confrontation on West 6th and Johnson Court, where protesters were again ordered due to the violence to disperse. They refused, at which time we brought in enough officers to make several arrests. Those arrests were as follows: 71 total individuals were arrested. There were approximately 39 males arrested, approximately 16 females arrested, and out of that there were also some juveniles arrested and other adults. We only moved in to make arrests when things got violent. The protesters refused to disperse. We wanted to make sure that people understand we're going to help you in this process, but if things turn violent, as we stated in the beginning, we will take action to preserve safety in the city. Thank you. Any questions?
It is hard for me to think about.
So there you have it, Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson, the Cleveland Police Chief, wrapping up, or getting into some questions there at that news conference in Cleveland. But wrapping up essentially what happened overnight with those protests in that city, and thankfully largely peaceful night there in Cleveland, with just some arrests being supported by authorities there. We'll keep tabs on that, and if there's some major developments coming out of Cleveland, we'll bring that to you. But getting back to the topic at hand this morning here on State of the Union, ISIS. Iraqi forces are preparing a counteroffensive against ISIS after the terror group had one of its biggest weeks in nearly a year. ISIS controlled both the ancient Syrian town of Palmyra as well as the city of Ramadi, the capital of Iraq's Sunni Anbar provinces, the two big developments in the last week. I'm joined now by two lawmakers who have a lot of familiarity with what's going on in Iraq. Democratic Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, she served 2 tours of duty in the Middle East, and Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger, who served as an Air Force pilot in Iraq. Thank you very much, Congressman, for being here on State of the Union this morning. Let's get right to it. President Obama said earlier this week that the U.S.-led coalition is not losing this battle against ISIS. Congressman, I'll go to you first. What do you think about that?
Well, maybe, I guess.
Let me go to Congresswoman Gabbard first, Congressman, and then we'll get to you in just a moment. Congressman, what do you make of that? The President saying the U.S.-led coalition is not losing.
Clearly ISIS has gained momentum, in particular over the last week, as we've seen the ground that they've gained both in Iraq and Syria. And I'd like to just break it down to what I see as the basic problem here, especially in Iraq, where we're seeing the Sunnis continue to be persecuted by the central government in Baghdad. Their distrust for the central government, this Iranian influence, Shia militia, has really created a situation where just as a matter of survival, they have no place else to turn to protect their families and their communities other than to ISIS. You have the solution. You've got the Kurdish Peshmerga, you have Sunni tribesmen who are literally begging. I met with a Sunni tribal leader last week in Washington. They are begging for arms, heavy weapons, ammunition to be able to fight against ISIS, to protect their families and their tribal lands and their territories. But still, to this point, both the U.S. and the central Iraqi government is failing to provide that, and therefore ISIS continues to be able to grow.
What do you make of that, Congressman? The President's assessment last week that we're not losing.
Well, of course, you're not losing and you're not winning because we're not really engaged in the fight. I mean, at some point, we're going to have to understand that the goal is the destruction of ISIS. The President, when we began this attack, I guess, on ISIS, he said, we're going to do it, we're going to bomb them, we're going to hit them, but we're not going to put troops on the ground. And that's what the President did, was say, look, we need to destroy ISIS unless that takes boots on the ground, in which case the existence of boots on the ground is worse than the existence of ISIS. I think the President needs to stand in front of the American people and frankly lead on this and say, look, this is a cancer that's growing in the Middle East. This isn't just a situation where if the house catches on fire, it'll burn down and then we just look at a burned down house. This is now a house on fire in a densely packed neighborhood where this is going to spread to other places. So I think we have to be very aggressive at stopping this cancer now in Iraq, in Syria, in Libya where it's existing. And I think we have to show a big, major blow to ISIS, because right now you have a lot of people that are, sitting in their basements looking on the internet that want to join ISIS, not because they want to be martyrs, but because they want to be part of something big. And it totally shows that the chance of martyrdom increases greatly by joining ISIS. I think we're going to continue to see this problem with foreign fighters.
And I want to toss out to our senior international correspondent, Arwa Damon, who is joining us from Baghdad. Arwa, you've been hearing this conversation here. Obviously, we'll get back to the Congresswoman and Congressman in just a moment. But is ISIS being pushed back? Is ISIS losing ground? Those are two assertions that the White House was making last week to sort of cool down all of the second guessing that's been taking place here in Washington. What can you tell us from the ground there?
Well, look, first of all, one has to continuously keep in mind that the battle lines here are constantly shifting, and small chunks of territory do regularly go back and forth. But following the fall of Ramadi about a week ago, ISIS did quite quickly push into various other smaller towns located to the east of Ramadi. Now, the Iraqi government has managed to recapture some of them, but not only on its own. You had a unit that was comprised of the Iraqi army plus, and this was arguably the deciding factor in all of this, the Popular Mobilization Unit, and that is this Iranian-backed paramilitary force, and it was largely due to them that they were able to accomplish these very small victories in the grander scheme of things. They are using the Sunni tribes, we're being told, using them to hold ground, but these Sunni tribes are very underarmed when it comes to the potential threat that they might be facing by ISIS. But look, the government at this stage has no choice but to use unconventional fighting forces. As it is painfully clear at this point, the Iraqi government does not have its own units directly under its own command that are capable of taking on an entity like ISIS.
And so let me go back to Congresswoman Gabbard about this. I mean, it seems that we have a strategy in place in terms of providing air support to the Iraqi security forces on the ground, or the Peshmerga in Kurdish areas to the north. But it doesn't seem like that is an effective strategy at this point, that it is just not working. You can get into semantics as to whether we're winning or losing or failing, but that strategy just doesn't seem to work. So what do you propose, do you think, at this point?
Yeah, Jim, I'd like to point out a couple of things. I think that there's definitely more that we can do in providing these decisive blows with airstrikes against these ISIS strongholds. But the Iraqi government actually does have a choice. They have a choice by arming directly the Sunni tribesmen. As your correspondent just pointed out, they are woefully under-equipped. They have the will to fight. They are on the ground begging to say, please give us the heavy weapons, the arms, the ammunition that we need to be able to fight against ISIS. Instead, the Iraqi government is relying completely on this Iranian-backed Shia military. The U.S. government is now saying, well, we're going to expedite more arms, more ammunition, anti-tank weapons to the Iraqi government when we see that these Iraqi security forces have cut and run and left their weapons for ISIS at a few opportunities. And these weapons are getting into the hands of the Shia militia. And I want to point out something that happened in the while we were going through the Armed Services Committee hearing process for the National Defense Authorization Act, where I co-sponsored an amendment that would authorize U.S. government directly arming the Kurds and the Shia. We had a leader of the Shia militia, Muqtada al-Sadr, as we were going through this hearing live, quote, he said, if this bill is passed, we will have no choice but to unfreeze the military wing that deals with the Americans so it can start targeting American interests both in and outside of Iraq. So when you look at this, these are the people that the United States is aligning itself with, who are essentially saying, we're going to come out and attack you if you don't do what we want.
And Congressman, I want to ask you this because you heard some fellow Republicans this week, Senator Lindsey Graham, John McCain, talk about a proposal to send in roughly 10,000 troops into Iraq, primarily to do training and provide intelligence, that sort of thing, not to go and fight house to house in combat situations. What do you make of that proposal? Does that sound reasonable to you? What do you think?
Yeah, it's reasonable. I'm not sure the exact number, but let's think about where we've been here. And the question is, are we winning against ISIS? 18 months ago, I called for bombing ISIS when they moved into Fallujah. At the time, we thought it was Al-Qaeda because they had yet to go through their divorce. I was accused of wanting to start Iraq 3. But we saw what happened then as it went on. ISIS grew, and eventually people got engaged and wanted to destroy them. We're seeing this movement continue to grow, and I think at this point we have to understand that every day that goes by where we don't push this cancer back, where we allow them to put car bombs in areas and alleys, we allow them to put IEDs in towns that they occupy right now. Every day that goes by, the cost of liberating Iraq or the cost of defeating this cancer is only going to increase. So I think we have to do the force that's proportionate and frankly the violence proportionate necessary to push back ISIS. The president likes to talk about the fact that we're not going to send 200,000 troops into Iraq. I agree. I've not even heard a single person ever say that we need another 200,000 troops back in Iraq.
You think that's a strong man argument?
What I am saying,
a bogus argument?
I think it's absolutely a strong. I think absolutely. If you see how the president argues a lot, he likes to put two false choices up and say he's the one in the middle. I think the one in the middle right now is saying, what do we need to do to be able to embolden the Iraqi military where it exists, to arm the Peshmerga? I agree with Halsey, arm the Peshmerga, arm the Sunnis. The problem is the Peshmerga can't liberate all of Iraq. They have a 600-mile border with ISIS as it exists today. They're struggling to maintain their own territory.
And Congressman,
it's a complicated battle.
It is, but I guess, what do you make of what Congressman Kinzinger just said there? He's okay with 10,000, maybe less, maybe more troops going in there, but you know this, deployment after deployment, it's breaking military families across this country on this Memorial Day weekend. That may not be the news they necessarily want to hear. More and more lawmakers calling for troops to go back into Iraq one more time. How do you prevent mission creep, Congressman?
Well, I think it's important for us to really focus on what our mission and goal and objective should be, which is defeating ISIS. Let's look back to Iraq several years ago where we had over 100,000 U.S. troops there training the Iraqi security forces. After the United States pulled out, we saw how these Iraqi security forces lasted. They cut and ran and dropped their weapons when they were faced with their first real battle with ISIS. So the issue here is not about how many U.S. troops can be sent to train these Iraqi security forces, because you can't train into someone the will to fight. They don't have the will to fight. This Iraqi security force organization, you do have people who have the will and the courage to fight, as we've seen time and again with the Kurdish Peshmerga. Now these Sunni tribes are asking for the equipment they need to protect their families and their communities, and yet, unfortunately, we are still not taking care of them with the obvious. We have these boots on the ground there who are ready to fight.
And we're going to have to wrap it up there. Congressman, we've got to go, but we appreciate your time. Go ahead and jump in there. You got something to say.
Well, let me just say real quickly, the American military wants to defeat our enemies, and I think they're ready to go. They're ready to be unleashed, which is necessary, and that's what they're called to do.
All right, very good. And we're going to have Secretary Ash Carter coming up in the next segment. He's going to be talking about, in pretty stark terms, that he believes that the Iraqi forces don't have the will to fight. We'll be talking about that coming up next. Ash Carter talking to our Barbara Stark. He reacts to the huge loss by Iraqi forces in the Iraq.
As we go on, with every project we embark on, we make sure we walk the fight, use the human environment, and try to enhance the natural beauty of the fight. At Hilltop, we struck the balance between beauty and sense of space. There's really something very, very magical about it. You can't really put a finger on it. When you go in and you experience it, you'll know it. Several months ago, in Singapore beachfront residence, it was unbelievable that you can actually have a site like this in Singapore. There's a sea right in front of you. You have the beach at the side of you. You have the golf course to the side. It's all about listening to the beauty of the natural environment. That's what makes the difference.
When you witness war and see the impact firsthand, when you face the reality of famine, but be effective. But these experiences are important. They give us knowledge. She said yes, women in the future. And they give us no choice but to ask questions. Especially the ones people don't want to answer. This is a pretty shocking picture. Would you condemn President Assad's war, 100,000 plus deaths? These experiences don't just make it possible for us to know where the story might go. They demand that we go with it.
All new African Voices. This week, making a mark on the music scene.
I'm an urban traditional girl. How about I create this anyway?
All new African Voices. Monday on CNN. One of the greatest earthquakes of the country as a whole.
A powerful 7.5 earthquake.
Go to CNN.com/impact for information and links to charitable organizations and resources to aid in predicted times to impact your world. China and India, two countries competing for the top economic spot.
When it comes to manufacturing, what China's political system does is little bit of vacuum.
I wouldn't give a blanket endorsement of the China model. One single party, one democratic.
Our parliament can look dysfunctional, but I mean, as a citizen of a democratic country, you're thankful that it goes through this process, debated at every stage.
We look into the big differences between the two countries and how they can work together on China Thursday on CNN. Inside the world of horse racing with CNN's Winning Post.
This month we're in the US for the most exciting 2-minute race course, the Kentucky Derby.
Winning Post, Thursday on CNN, in association with Moji.
Just last month, the U.S. and Iraq claimed to have the upper hand in the fight against ISIS. CNN Pentagon correspondent Barbara Starr caught up with Defense Secretary Ash Carter and asked him why ISIS was able to capture the key Iraqi city of Ramadi and gain momentum on a march towards Baghdad.
What apparently happened was that the Iraqi forces just showed no will to fight. They were not outnumbered. In fact, they vastly outnumbered the opposing force, and yet they failed to fight. They withdrew from the site, and that says to me, and I think to most of us, that we have an issue with the will of the Iraqis to fight ISIL and defend themselves. Now, we can give them training, we can give them equipment, we obviously can't give them the will to fight. But if we give them training, we give them equipment, and give them support, and give them some time, I hope they will develop the will to fight, because only if they fight can ISIL remain defeated.
A lot of people in Washington that you deal with on the other side of the aisle are saying, look, put in ground troops, put in forward air controllers, airstrikes are not working. What do you foresee? What is your view on this?
Airstrikes are effective, but neither they nor really anything we do can substitute for the Iraqi forces' will to fight. They're the ones who have to beat ISIL and then keep going. We can participate in the defeat of ISIL, but we can't make Iraq run as a decent place for people to live. We can't sustain the victory. Only the Iraqis can do that, and in particular, in this case, the Sunni tribes to the west. If there comes a time when we need to change the kinds of support we're giving to the Iraqi forces, we'll make that recommendation. But what happened in Ramadi was a failure of the Iraqi forces to fight. And so our efforts now are devoted to providing their ground forces with the equipment, the training, and to try to encourage their will to fight, so that our campaign
them can be successful both in defeating ISIL and keeping ISIL defeated in a sustained way. But these things we need to, with all of our tactics and our procedures need to...
You are not at forward air controllers on the ground.
We have not made that recommendation.
And forward air controllers for our viewers would be U.S. troops on the ground to help pinpoint those airstrikes. Joining me now to talk about all of this, Michelle Flournoy, the Undersecretary of Defense, President Obama's first term, and Michael Leiter, former Director of the Counterterrorism Center under both President George W. Bush and President Obama. And Michelle, I want to go to you first because you were in the running for Defense Secretary this last time around when Ash Carter was tapped to that position. And I'm just curious what you make of when you hear Defense Secretary saying the Iraqi security forces may not have the will to fight.
Well, I think when we talk about taking on ISIS, pushing them back in Sunni-dominated areas, whether it's Mosul or Anbar province, we've got to be, the people with the political will to fight are the Sunni tribes. And we have got to ensure that our efforts are directed at helping them, arming and training them, providing operational support on the battlefield, enablers, air cover, and so forth, and pressing the Iraqi government to devolve more governance and resources to the province. Secretary Carter just said, if there's a time when we need to do more, we'll do it. Well, now is that time, Monday.
And Michael, do you think that the administration has been too slow to confront this threat in a serious way?
I think we have probably underestimated how deep the hole is that we've dug ourselves in. And what I mean by that is how weak the governance structure in Iraq was, how weak the will to fight has been, and how much it's going to take to get the Iraqis back up to par. Similarly, I think we've underestimated the problem we have in Syria, how weak our situation is there, and increasingly, I think we have underestimated how alienated many of our Sunni allies feel in the region. So I think on a number of fronts, we need to be much more forceful. We need to be much more aggressive, and Ramadi is simply the best current illustration.
And the President said last week that we're not losing. But I guess the question is not whether we're winning or losing, but is the strategy in a state of disrepair? How do we fix this?
I agree with the fundamental premise that we, the United States, cannot fix this in a sustainable way by ourselves. Ultimately, whatever victories we help the Iraqis achieve will have to be sustained by the Iraqis. But we have under-resourced the strategy. We need to provide more staff for training and advising down at the battalion level rather than just the division level. We need to provide more firepower support, more intelligence surveillance.
And why haven't they done that? You've dealt with this administration, you've dealt with this national security team. Why not?
I think there's a major hesitation to get too deeply involved in Iraq again, and I think there's a lot of Americans are worried about that. But the truth is, ISIS is a threat not only to Iraq and Syria, it is a threat to us, particularly given the flow of foreign fighters, thousands of Europeans, hundreds of Americans going into Syria, getting training, coming back at some point. This is a terrorist problem that affects us. We have to take a more forward-leaning posture.
And Michael, you dealt with President Obama. It's not as if he wants terrorists to win. He understands the threat. So as I was asking Michelle, what is it? Why is there this disconnect?
Well, I think Michelle is fundamentally right. I'm not surprised we agree. We work very closely together. But the challenge we have is we pulled lots out of Iraq. But the American people, I think, arguably don't want to go back and forth. But what you have to understand is this isn't just about Iraq. This is about a region which to some extent is melting down. The bombing that we saw in Saudi Arabia by ISIS against the Shia mobs, the attacks that we've seen by ISIS-associated groups in Libya, this really is destabilizing the region. So this isn't about Iraq, this is about a regional conflagration that we have to try to put out. Similarly, we obviously see threats within Western nations by people who either been raised or inspired by ISIS. So at a point where you don't see that global risk, then you can move slowly and somewhat incrementally. The fact is we're well past that point, and we have to be more forceful about it now.
And Michelle, how do we, Iraq almost feels like the forever war. We've been dealing with this since the early 1990s under President George H.W. Bush. And here we are about to go into another election talking about what to do about Iraq. How do we make it stop?
It's a
great question. I think the fundamental issue in Iraq is one of governance, that you have a central government in Baghdad that is still operating along sectarian lines, that is not seeing itself as a national security, a national unity government that brings in the Kurds and the Sunnis. What we have to convince them of is they are at a tipping point. Either they become a true national unity government and share power in a meaningful way and stop persecuting the minorities, or Iraq is going to dissolve into three parts, and that is the no limit.
Michelle Benoit, Michael Leiter, thank you very much. Two key members of the President's national security team with some very stark talk on what needs to be done in Iraq and Syria. Thank you very much. Thank you. Coming up next, Housing Secretary Julian Castro is on a mission to revive America's toughest neighborhood. Is he also in line to be Hillary Clinton's running mate? Julian Castro is here next.
Journey into a world past all expectations. A testament to the journey. Breathtaking, sheer originality. Commanding presence above all. For a wealth of indulgence awaits. Ultimate experiences taking center stage. Share the excitement and give it your all. Maria Mesa, Sawport, Lebanon.
This week on Inside Africa.
Can you tell me some dances, some more? I want to join you.
In Cameroon, the art scene is hopping. From dance to sculpture.
It's really comfortable.
Very comfortable.
I like this kind of art because you can use them. You are not here in some preserving.
To a living sound garden. Young artists are making a mark. Inside Africa, Tuesday only on CNN in association with Zenith Bank.
Where will the business story go today?
Recognizing the A350 is easy.
How quickly are those laws going to have an impact on Italy's economy?
CNN journalists go to the places. Do you understand? A gentleman to the people. Directed to the heart of the question. Your financial future is at stake, and we'll help you make sense of it all around the globe. CNN Business.
I'm Helena Ronnie in London, and this is CNN.
Innovators, influencers, they reach the top and are today leading women, inspiring individuals sharing their insights on CNN this month. She's young, influential, and not afraid to compete with the big boys.
When I was 14, I finally started helping with the men, and it was a big deal, and I was actually very shocked.
Professional golf star player Michelle Weedy shares her experiences on the course. Leading Women Wednesday on CNN.
China and India, two countries competing for the top economic spot.
When it comes to manufacturing, what China political system does is move at a fast speed.
I wouldn't give a blanket endorsement of the China model. One single party, one democratic.
Our parliament can look dysfunctional, but I mean, as a citizen of a democratic country, you're thankful that it goes through this process, debated at every stage.
We look into the big differences between the two countries and how they can work together on China Thursday on CNN.
I'm staying in Atlanta, and this is CNN.
Julian Castro, the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, and D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser kicked off the agency's 50th anniversary this week by highlighting efforts to create and maintain affordable housing, especially in revitalized urban areas where costs are soaring at an astronomical rate. Mr. Secretary, thanks for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. Thank you. And you know, we noticed with the situation in Cleveland over the weekend, the situation in Baltimore, Ferguson, this issue of urban development is becoming more and more a critical component for you when it comes to dealing with these cities that are facing some major issues. And I'm just curious, how is this becoming more of a topic of conversation for you to sort of deal with urban development in cities that are facing tough times to sort of prevent the next Baltimore from happening, the next Ferguson?
You know, HUD this year is marking its 50th anniversary, and so I would say that the focus on these issues has really never left in terms of the department. However, you're right, what we see out there, whether it's Baltimore or what's happening in Ferguson, what's going on in Cleveland right now, does give us, I think, as a nation, an extra impetus to focus on these issues. And I believe that one of the lasting legacies of the Obama administration is that for the first time in these efforts, we figured out that it's not just about improving housing. It's not just what HUD is doing. It's also improving education in the neighborhood, improving transit options, of course, improving job opportunities. And through place-based work, the Obama administration is working with local leaders in cities across the United States and rural areas as well to lift up the quality of life and provide more economic opportunity out there. And I think you're going to see the impact of this in the years to come, even in some of the toughest areas in the United States.
And how do you respond to this notion, and I'm sure you've heard it in recent weeks, in response to what happened in Baltimore, that the Great Society was a failure? And I know that this is a time when you and the rest of the administration would like to see more resources going into our urban areas.
There are people who say that, and I would say that they're dead wrong. In fact, what we see today in the United States, because of these efforts, for instance, we've seen a strong reduction in childhood poverty. The challenge is that even when we find, based on evidence, initiatives that work, for instance, our Housing Choice Voucher program, which is the subject of a massive longitudinal study by Raj Chetty and Larry Katz out of Harvard that showed that educational and employment outcomes improve when young people have the benefit of a Housing Choice Voucher so that they can move with their family to a place with lower poverty and higher opportunity. Even when we find things that work, for instance, in this budget, the President is requesting about 100,000 more vouchers this half now because we've lost nearly 70,000 sequestration. And we're not getting the resources from this Congress to make those investments. And so it's about resources, and it's about how we coordinate better with local leaders to make a good impact on the ground.
And I want to switch gears a little bit because it's Memorial Day weekend to ask you about this issue of veteran homelessness, which is an issue that you have to deal with at the Housing and Urban Development Department. And according to your department, veteran homelessness has decreased 33% since 2010, but there's still 50,000 homeless vets in America. You see them on the streets of Washington. People will see them on the streets of Washington as they head to Arlington National Cemetery, for example, this weekend. What more can we do for them?
There's a lot that we are doing, and we're going to keep working hard. This is actually one of the best news stories out there. In 2010, President Obama became the first president to say, we're not just going to talk about reducing veteran homelessness, we're actually going to end it. And since 2010, we've seen a 33% reduction in veteran homelessness, mostly for two reasons. Because the President led and worked well with the Congress to get more what are called HUD vouchers, so that veterans who are homeless can actually get a voucher, go into the private market, and get a place to live. And secondly, because communities across the United States have signed up to be part of the challenge to end veteran homelessness and have adopted policies like Housing First, getting veterans directly into housing instead of making them live in shelters or transitional living facilities. Because of that, we expect that we will effectively end veteran homelessness.
And that would be quite an accomplishment that you could tout in a run in 2016 if you were to be put on Hillary Clinton's ticket. I know you've heard this question time and again. I can't let you go without talking about this. What do you make of this when you see the former San Antonio mayor and former secretary of your department, Henry Cisneros, say this? He says, what I'm hearing in Washington, including people in Hillary Clinton's campaign, is that the first person on their list for vice president is Julian Castro. They don't have a second option. So I guess that's it. You got the job. So congratulations.
If I had a dime for every amount of speculation that happens in D.C., I think all of us would be wealthy.
Your budget would be a lot bigger than that.
That's right. Who wouldn't be flattered by that? But I have found in life, like I bet a lot of the folks watching out there, that the best thing to do in life is to do a great job with what's in front of you. And I'm trying to do a great job in HUD and make sure that we benefit Americans out there this weekend of Memorial
Day weekend when we think about our veterans, the fact that all of us together on both sides of the aisle are committed to making a difference and getting those veterans a place to live, and that it's happening. And we are going to have that glorious day in the not-too-distant future when we can say that we have effectively ended veteran homelessness. That's what I'm focused on today.
Let me ask you one more question about the 2016 campaign. These emails that have been released by the State Department with respect to Hillary Clinton and her time there, the private emails that she was using to conduct business at the department. Do you believe that she has answered that question appropriately and fully?
Oh,
You're satisfied?
Oh, I do. I mean, let's take a look at this issue of technology. This thing has been studied to death by Republicans and Democrats, several committees, including in Congress, that have all said, yes, of course, what happened was tragic, but Secretary Clinton was not in any way at fault. And what you have here with this email is basically a witch hunt. And you know, Congressman Gowdy, who is leading this, is very intentionally trying to manipulate this witch hunt to play politics. That's unfortunate, and it's one of the reasons that Congress has a 19% approval rating. I think that we need to focus on more substantive things. As one who hasn't spent my lifetime in D.C., I know that out there in America, they care about, are you reducing veteran homelessness? Are you providing the impetus for young people to be able to achieve their dreams? Are we making sure that America in this 21st century remains the undisputed land of opportunity, not whether somebody had emails and didn't have them?
Do you use private accounts?
I have my government email account. Of course, I have my private email, but I have my government email. But that's beside the point. I think
You do government business on the government email account?
that's right.
Private business on the private.
And she's already explained that. People want us to focus as policymakers on things that matter to their lives. They want us to make a difference, create more opportunity out there. And that's just a witch hunt that is a sideshow. I think the work that we're doing to end veteran homelessness is a good example of something that matters.
All right, Secretary Castro, thank you very much for your time this morning. We appreciate it. All right, coming up next, more on those Hillary Clinton emails. Our roundtable is next.
Thanks to the power of global trade, life on planet Earth is changing faster than ever. Of course, there's still a long way to go, but the more people keep on trading, the better it'll get for everyone, everywhere.
When you witness war and see the impact firsthand, when you face the reality of famine, genocide, and natural disaster, you can't help but be affected. These experiences are important. They give us knowledge. And they give us no choice but to ask questions. Especially the ones people don't want to answer. This is a pretty shocking picture. Due to them, President Assad told 100,000 plus dead. These experiences don't just make it possible for us to know where the story might go. They demand that we go with it.
I'm Richard Quest in New York, and this is CNN.
I've been to the Middle East aren't those you can walk or drive to. They are in the eyes of the first Arab woman fighter pilot breaking down barriers at supersonic speed, in the smile of a young UAE student determined to shed stereotypes and make her way in the world. These are places you'll find hope, joy, and inspiration. Files on CNN. This month, he's young, influential, and not afraid to compete with the big boys.
When I was 14, I finally started helping with the men, and it was a big deal, and I was actually very shocked.
Professional golf star player Michelle Wee shares her experiences on the course. Leading with Wednesday on CNN.
When you follow a story, you may be asked to take risks. Sometimes you go down a path that's not marked. That's where you find a brotherhood risking it all. Or a fighter who's had a change of heart. When you dare to take risks, you witness passion and persistence. And that's where change happens.
I'm Fred Blanket in Tehran, and this is CNN.
Aware that the FBI has asked that a portion of one email be held back that happens in the process of Freedom of Information Act response. But that doesn't change the fact that all of the information in the email was handled appropriately.
Hillary Clinton doing some email damage control there on the campaign trail. Those newly released emails from Hillary Clinton's time as Secretary of State offers new insight into her handling of the Benghazi attacks. Joining me at the table, Democratic strategist Penny Lee, CNN correspondent Chris Grace, who has been tasked with reading all of those emails. Unfortunately, not all of them at the same time, and Republican strategist Kristen Soltis Anderson. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. Chris, let me go to you first so you can fill us in on the latest. Have you read through all of these emails ever recently? We have. Oh, I apologize. It's the holiday weekend. It was a holiday weekend, and that's probably part of the reason why they came out, right? It was Big Friday before a long weekend. And so we went through those 300 emails, and there were no bombshells. There was nothing that indicated that Hillary Clinton knew of any kind of stand-down order, that there was any kind of stand-down order in Benghazi, that any arms were coming through Benghazi. So no smoking gun. Conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory. The Democrats were quick to say, look, this is why we've already been through this. This is exercise of utility. Now, Republicans, on the other hand, on that Benghazi committee that's looking into what happened there, is saying, well, there's a lot of questions. There was emails about security during Benghazi in 2011 and in 2012. We need to continue to look into that. And there was also a little flavor for how she likes to run the State Department. There were notes to her two senior aides who were going to testify on Capitol Hill, and she had suffered concussions. She said, I have a cracked head, but I want you guys to go up there and remain calm and carry on. I remember that when she was wearing the glasses. Remember all of that during that time? Exactly. So yeah. So it was informative a little bit to kind of get a sense of how she ran her State Department. But there was nothing there that suggested any kind of wrongdoing. Well, that was only 300 emails. We still have 30,000 more to come. So the coast is clear, technically.
Well, I think it just confirms what we all have been saying for all along, and that many of the investigations that we've already seen take place. We've already had 5, 6 investigations that full report on top, and they have consistently said what was backed up in Hillary's email is that there wasn't a broad conspiracy, and that there wasn't a stand-down order that was out there. So I think what it does is show is, look, there's more to come, but it does prove a consistency where she was from the very beginning.
Kristen, more to come, I guess. What do you make of it?
So we're right now trusting that Hillary Clinton is giving us the emails that do tell the full picture. Again, remember, these are all emails that it's turning out some of them necessarily sensitive information, and then they're all living on an email server that was in Hillary Clinton's possession. She's turning over what she wants to turn over. Poll after poll shows that Americans don't find Hillary Clinton to be terribly trustworthy. I don't think Congress finds Hillary Clinton to be terribly trustworthy. And that's what we're going to be seeing right now here as 4 emails.
And Penny, I wonder, what do you make of the fact that Sidney Blumenthal has come back, from the 1990s, I guess, that we're now talking about Sidney Blumenthal emails with Hillary Clinton. Doesn't this all sort of remind voters that Hillary Clinton, was the First Lady in the 1990s and was then Senator and the Secretary, but that we've been dealing with Hillary Clinton and the way she handles sensitive subjects like this in a sometimes ineffective way.
Yeah, I mean, look, today there's no denying what her resume.
Honey, it was so funny to see you go off in a pedicab this morning to go visit your mom and dad and family.
And I paid driver 10 pesos. It's like for 2 miles.
So that should only been like 2 pesos?
I paid 10 pesos. It's like, I think, 20 cents? 20 cents in US. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but what are you saying? You paid him wrong, or you?
No,
or
I paid.
that's how much it cost.
Yeah, that was the cost. But I'm not sure how many cents in US. I think it's 20 cents or 25 cents.
Yeah.
Ken, say hi.
Hey, Ken.
And it's just like 2 miles. Cheap.
So then, did you have to take a different jeepney, or still two jeepneys?
Transfer to one jeepney, and I paid 8 pesos. It's like, and it's 5 miles. It's only like 10 cents.
And then so that was it, one pedicab and one jeepney, and that got you there?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's 10 plus 5, 15 pesos. Oh, 18 pesos plus 8 is
18 pesos. And there's
just like 20.
43 pesos to $1.
And I went to the house, and I was already shy to walking by myself. They're looking at me. It's like, so I'm me, but why you guys are looking at me?
Because you've been gone.
Yeah. Who the hell is this girl?
Yeah. So who's this girl walking down our street?
I stopped because it's near in the street on Jay's house and Robbie's house. So I stopped might be Jay's on the house, and they just woke up. And I said, come on, let's go to the Jay's house, because I can say that people while walking by myself, they're looking at me. They're nosing.
That's funny. Well, Mama G said it would take 2 jeepneys, or one jeepney and then a transfer.
Yeah, if you want, but I just use
the pedicab instead.
Early morning, yeah. So you just had a shortcut over there. A shortcut. And that's it. And
what?
American guy.
So something that I think I've noticed is on a busy day, like today is the fiesta, that I see the jeepney will have, the driver will be the driver, but then there'll be another guy in the back. Yeah, and he's running like, you get on, you get off, how much money?
He's the one who calling it's depending how the driver and that guy, what is their
system
condition, who's going to collect the money. But most of the time is the guy in the back collecting the money, and so that when the passenger wants change, or they want to change, and the guy gonna give it to them. And
so he handles all the collections.
He is collection, and he's a collector, and he's the one like calling all the passengers like,
here, get off, get on, yes, go ahead and go. Stop. He tells the driver stop. He tells the driver let's go. On a busy day like today. All right. Well, talk to you soon.
50 pesos for $3.
So that's
like, let's say.
No, it'd be 40. It'd be 80. It's $1. It's $1.
No, it's not $1.
Yeah, it would be $2.50.
Yes, $2.50.
All right, that looks good. And you got corned beef hash, right? And he got ham. Okay.
It's $3.
$3? Okay. Well, mine's not here yet. Hey! Jimmy?
You want this to
doesn't want to do it, or what?
Yeah, he's gonna go downtown.
That's fine.
Turun pa tayo. Hari mana?
You still listen to music? Yeah. Kenton doesn't talk very much. He's really quiet.
Yeah. Pero hindi ka mo pinili talaga. Quiet ka man lang po.
You know what I learned growing up? If you're very quiet, people who are really smart will think that you don't know what you're talking about, or you don't have any opinions, or they can't learn anything about you because you're quiet. But if you would talk and say, oh, I think this and blah 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 blah.
He is talkative, but I think he's shy on.
Well, don't be shy on me.
Now they're gonna go stop.
So, honey, what is today? What's special about today?
The fiesta.
What fiesta?
It's a fiesta.
What is it? What happens at is it like a national holiday, or is it?
No, it's just like a celebration for this.
All right. Thanks for the big explanation on.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. That's. I don't know.
No, I already explained it, but it's not. I don't.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Okay. All right. All right.
Let's go.
He's calling for customers.
Yes.
What's he saying?
Just go straight. He's road. He's only go straight, not going to like left or right.
Yeah.
May natakay. Downtown? No, to Bangkok. Makakatulog na lang ano. Puta ka pa doon.
That horn was kind of like the one I want. Did you hear it go, beep, beep, beep? the people were temporary shelter after the typhoon, right? Yeah, tent city all around here.
we're gonna take off here.
Okay.
Barato sila sa musik.
Yeah. Stay there. June 5.
Ano kaming kakao na mo siya sa kakao doon. Tagi pa ka na. You know, I want to eat.
Eat the cat? Yeah.
Ayaw ito.
Is he gonna eat it? Oh.
Tagit ayam. Tagit mga ayam. Ikaw naman.
You guys, it's a little video camera. That's a cute cat. He sleeps with you every night?
Saba. Ayan tani. Ayam. Ano na mo?
Is there bone food there? Oh, there's that.
Tomorrow, what are...
He's gonna dance, huh? I can't believe he lets you do that. At some point, you think he would go, "You're hurting me." You know?
Titigang ka bata. Bata pa ito mamisig ako. Iya, nagtitinabong. Kaya waring nga niya, nalakat nga niya, nakat na ako, natutok.
Itong pagkaon dito.
Biling-biling ka mo. Natuto ay.
Kung ato kami utap, kaya nangingirang natin.
Hey! He's like, what is he doing?
Orog na.
Ayun daw lang.
Labot ito, El.
Sorry ko, when we babat lalay.
Yeah.
We babat to that.
The cat? Really? Lalay.
We babat na ito niya. Pakita natin mamunis. Yeah, bakit tawagin ka yan.
Gonna dance on
Kaya yan. Kata. Ano na nga ni kaya nahalat? Nahalat yung boses. Bida. Ano mahalat sa tuloy niya?
But I even forget to smoke just because of
You forget because you are one.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good.
Beside your wife. The arrived.
That's great.
Have you, I don't know if maybe...
Cousin.
He knows. He knows.
Because and is my first cousin, and his father is my and his father is my father's brother.
Oh, okay.
His father is...
I'm a first cousin kami with
All right. I don't even try to figure that stuff out, and you guys are figuring it out. It doesn't do good at start. This one, so I haven't even been doing it, but that means it's filming.